familia around here is very small, but then I'm being an old ass man, and then finding a poet that's been writing for a while is always a beautiful thing, you know? Oh, I already know the poets. I know all the poets. Oh, who's that? You know, in this case, I was lucky enough to be asked last year to read at a Puente reading at the college up the street, and Xochiquetzal Candelaria was one of the poets, and I was amazed. Serious amazed Sana Familia. So this is very special having them here speaking Axolotl, and I'm very excited for those of you that haven't heard them. Let me read their bio, and I'll stop ranting. Xochiquetzal Candelaria is an American poet from San Juan Bautista, Califas. Her work has been showcased in the New England Review and The Nation, and she has also received multiple fellowships through the National Endowment for the Arts, as well as other organizations. Her first book of poems, Empire, was published by University of Arizona Press in 2011. Her new amazing book of poems, Show Me the Bells, was published this year by Chucha's Press. Familia, give it up for Xochiquetzal Candelaria.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Josiah. Luis.
Do you need me to adjust that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
that might be helpful.
Sorry about that. Smaller? Curly?
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's good. All right, well, it's lovely to be here with all these poets, so I feel very, very blessed. I'll use that term. I'm going to be reading from Show Me the Bells. This is the first time I'm actually reading from it, so so I'm excited about it. So in honor of the poets who read other poets, which I think is so beautiful, I didn't bring anything, but I have, I start the book with two excerpts. One's from Antonio Machado and one's from June Jordan. So June Jordan was my teacher. She's the whole reason I'm a poet. So June says, to rescue our children, we will have to let them save us from the power we embody. We will have to trust the very difference they forever personify. And Machado says, I dreamt marvelous air that I had a beehive here inside my heart, and the golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. Which I think that's what poetry does. I think it's a form of transmutation. It takes what is painful and it often turns it into something that can save us. So this is the first poem in the collection. It's called The Rains. Behind my aunt's house on an adobe wall, someone scrawled, "We'll die as we should have loved, giving all of our warmth." And then the rains came, and what remained was loved warmth. And eventually my aunt gave all the little cousins galoshes and nets to catch frogs in the abandoned swimming pool out back. 12 sacks of grain bloated, tar paper floated away. My father's family held title to the surrounding land, held it for 7 generations before they were forced to sell, helping me with a down payment on a 100-year-old house. Tearing into plaster and lath, I find newspaper clippings from the 1930s, one line reading, "It rained all morning." Through the night, through strips of white flags, I write, hoping my son might find it someday, grafted to the pages of a story where there's an abandoned 3-story brownstone to which a boy, Buddy, brings his Angela. Some of each floor is gone, revealing the house's spine, a spiral staircase. The only room with all of its walls is a bright orange washroom. I recall how my water broke in hours, mere leaning against a half-tiled shower. I heard the gush and thought someone had turned on the faucet, but because it was coming from me, but not by me, it seemed like applause. This baby orchestrating his way out, pushing along muscles, sloughing off blood and fluid, tensing, shaking my spine, breaking fine threads of tissue, arriving like dying and unlike death, arriving warm, gumming the air. Minuscule bumps along the ridge of his nose as if made of bubbles that rise to the surface. I'm in there somewhere, past the follicles, surviving the cellular story goes. But the baby seems to know this. No, he seems to say, I can't promise you passage, just a chance to move in and out of the way as we get up, get on, and fall back down again. He teaches me an untamed language, the way a swallow swoops down from the speckled branch to land near fresh drops of blood pooled beneath my lip after tripping one August morning. Was the back porch on 20th painted or raw? How old was I when the rains came and washed my blood away? If I studied closely, index finger moving delicately towards each fading red tendril, I am but 2 years. The beauty of mineral swirls brilliant to those with little time who warble as they wonder. This isn't San Jose in the 70s or Albuquerque on a small scratch of land my uncle still farms between golf courses and housing tracts. This is my bird call, to fresh nerve, to tiny hands pulling on levers to watch for change, to morning rain, how when it pauses it can make my sister enter our house to lift the boy to her chest, balancing his heft on her hip as they slip out the back, to pick poppies and watch for bees. Here's to the buzzing of all that loves an earthen wall, and if language can do the impossible, if it can promise flight, I repeat, through the night, through strips of white flags. Thank you. All right, so this is kind of a love poem, so why not?
Yay!
We'll see.
Love poem. Do you mind doing video clips? I can send it to you.
I'm sorry?
Do you mind doing video clips? I can send it to you.
I think if it's not going anywhere else, yeah, sure.
I will be happy.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is called The Hermit. It's for an ex who's a poet as well. The Hermit. Over several years, I learned the language of his papers, how parallel piles meant he was still considering love at the level of the article, a kiss, the kiss, how correspondence with a friend long dead sat under a rock he found as a boy, a bus ticket from Merida to Veracruz, paper clipped to a hand-drawn map with one word looped in delicate cursive above a red triangle marking a volcano, storm petrel. Pasted on sea glass and hung from the ceiling were the names of composers and county hospital patients. As the wind rose, they chimed together. I spent evenings here lifting slip after slip. Once I found a series of numbers, musical notes, I think, the harmonic beats of the beaten and forgotten, a collection of eights arranged like petals, spiraling out to form what looked like the perimeter of a new city.
Can I do one more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Otra.
All right, so this one's called Matter, and this is for all the young writers and artists, because they always take my breath away, and so this is props to them. Matter. It matters that the young ones slept on the steps all night to keep the school open, reached for each other's cold, numb hands for the first time, heat rising in their hungry stomachs. Someone runs to get burritos, and through the barricades, the din of sirens doesn't return. Nothing and everything matters when the matter is money, their bodies' debt. I owe everything to the stars and the moss-covered rocks outside the main library, I overheard one of them once say in a poem never written down, so never burned in a pyre, started by a group that was paid $10 an hour and promised Subway sandwiches. In the fourth book on forgiveness, The young lovers are exhausted, their salty bodies swollen and resting, their bright eyes closed as if to say, please do not call this theater. Please remember all our lives together are one body ablaze.
I think we have other poets, so I think I'm gonna stop there.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. One more time for Xochiquetzal Candelaria, please.